Hey guys, it's Maymay. And if you watch my Across the Mile segment that we do on Thursday afternoons after our live show at noon, you would have seen that this card was sent to me by the lovely Trish, and it is so cute. It is a box card in the middle. You see that? It's in a box that's open. Now I can tell by looking at this that this card or this box section is like perforated, so it came from somewhere. I do not know where. So this looks like it might have been a kit that she had gotten. You can see the little perforated edges. And I looked to see if there was like a brand name or anything, and I didn't contact Trish. Let me see. I don't think she says it in here. She doesn't, but so many of you guys said, would you show us how to do that? So I'm going to show you my simplified version because this one's a little more detailed. Like you can see that the box is like solid on these edges and stuff. I'm just going to show you my simple way to do it. So this is my template. This is like my prototype, the one I played with first. And what I did was I made it pretty simple. Like I don't have the return section that goes back here to make this a solid box on the inside. It's just an open card, so it's nowhere near as nice as that other one. It's really cool, but this one is going to get you the feel of the same card, and you see how it goes. And then I thought, if I show you how to make this, you're going to want to know how to make an envelope. So here's what I did. I made this little box, okay, and this guy is going to fit into this box just like this with plenty of room, and then it's going to close here, and what you can then do is seal this shut and then address it and send it that way, okay? So let's get started. We're going to make this guy. All right, okay, before we get started, all the measurements, all of the information is on the blog post for you, so you don't have to worry about keeping up with anything at this point, just the instructions for getting it done, okay? This piece is 10 by 6.5. We're going to make the box portion of the card first. So here's where we're going to score this guy. We're going to score it at 1/2 inch here. And by the way, I've got it in my scoreboard on the 10-inch side, so we're doing this part first. We're going to score it at 4 3/4, 5 1/4, and 9 1/2. Okay, so 1/2 inch, 4 3/4, 5 1/4, 9 1/2, and we're going to turn it. And now we're going to score it at 1/2 inch, just like so, and at 6 inches. I have to look at my cheat sheet every time and make sure I'm saying it right, okay? So here's what we end up with. And let me turn this where you can see these lines better. So see how it's scored? Just like that. This is going to be the box for the inside of the card. It's super easy to do. Now what you're going to need is you're going to need a template you're going to make for yourself. My template is 3 1/4 by 4 1/2. Okay, that's the size. This is going to be the opening that I'm going to make in here. Now, I originally thought, oh, I could just get the center point here and the center point here and put them together. Well, that'd be fine and good, except these are rectangles and it doesn't work that way. So that's why there's a big X on here. Ignore the X. Here's what we're going to do instead. I'm going to take a ruler and a pencil, and I'm going to make some marks. Okay, so I'm going to come in from my interior score line. So these score lines that are going to be the corners of the box or the edge of the box, I'm going to come in from there. I'm going to make a mark at 1/2 inch in, and over here, 1/2 inch in. Okay, so score mark, 1/2 inch, 1/2 inch. Then I'm going to do the same thing here. Here's my score mark, and then my score mark at the bottom, and I'm going to come down 1/2 inch and make a mark, and I'm going to come up 1/2 inch and make a mark. Okay, these are just kind of guidelines for us at this point. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this template that I made and I'm going to put it in those marks all the way around. That's going to keep me square. Okay, now I know where I'm supposed to be. Now I'm just going to trace it. All of this is happening inside the score marks of that rectangle we've created on here. Okay. Also, when you make your little template piece for the middle, make it out of cardstock. If you make this out of paper, when you go to trace it, you're gonna struggle with it buckling and bending on you, and this way it won't. Now, we're going to cut it, and I'm going to use my pen blade. Real simple. Now, also, let me say this. I know that this side of my ruler has metal on it, and this side doesn't, but I like how much flatter this side is, and I can get a more accurate cut when I use this side. So I'm just careful not to cut into my ruler. I just do it that way. I like it better that way, but you can use the other side if you'd like. Now, a tip for using your pen blade and making these kind of cuts. More cuts, adding pressure each time, how I did 3 slices is better than trying to cut through all at one time. Because even though these pen blades can do that, if you put too much pressure, you can wiggle or get off. And for me, this just works easier for me to make multiple passes And let me find my line. There it is. Make multiple passes. Take my time. I just get a better result. And I don't feel like I struggle as hard. This gets you a nice, clean opening. Also, I know you're going to ask, I'm not going to have a Cricut cut file for this, but I bet there's already one out there. So you could just go look at box cards on your design space. I bet you could find one. But I wanted to show you guys how to do this without a fancy machine, without any fancy tools. Anybody with a ruler and a blade like this, pen blade, X-Acto knife, even a scoreboard. You don't even have to have the scoreboard. You can do that with just your ruler. But if you can have these simple tools, you can make this cool card. Okay, I'm a little connected on this corner and a little on this corner. I'm not going to tear it. I'm going to come back and just make some tiny cuts until it loosens. This just makes the opening look so much cleaner if you do it this way than pulling. Snap that one a tiny bit. I think that got it. Yep. Oh, I don't want to pull it because when you pull it, the little fibers of the paper kind of show. So I'm just going to slice. Okay, there's the hole. Now then, by the way, I did my pencil mark on the inside, so it doesn't matter. You're not going to see it. So I'm just going to flip this over. Now, something I want to show you. In my card, let me take it out of the box. In my card, I decorated it after I assembled it. Okay, so all of these stickers were put in after I assembled the card. You may want to go ahead and decorate before you do, so I'm going to show you which side you're going to decorate. Since I'm looking into my opening here, I want to flip this over and decorate this side. Okay, that way whenever I close the box over it, I'll be looking at it. You just want to pay attention to that. You might even want to make yourself a little mark to say, you know, up and down so you'll know. But this is where you'll decorate if you want to decorate beforehand. I'm not going to because I have a plan to show you something else. I think we're going to turn this one portrait. I'm just going to do it just like I did earlier, and that way you'll be able to see the card done two different ways. All right, now it's time to, let's do the snips first. I like to snip before I do all my folding. Okay, you're basically just making a box. So everywhere where these guys cross over, this long or the score mark that comes all the way to the edge, we're going to snip. And I'm snipping in the score mark, but you can snip the score mark away if you'd like. A lot of you guys ask me sometimes, do you snip in the score, away? It doesn't matter as long as you're snipping it apart. All right, on these little tiny flaps, I'm going to make little angled cuts. Remember, we talked about this before. If you want accurate folds, if you make these little angled cuts, you'll get a much cleaner, no pressure, no resistance when you fold it. So just make those little points. Now what I'm doing down here, I'm going to flip this over and do the exact same on the other end. So let me lay that down so you can see it. See how I made those little snips with points? All right, I'm going to flip it around and do the same thing over here. All right, so all my little snips are made and everything's ready to go. Now, when you fold this guy up on these ends, at one point you're going to have two of these where you don't need them both whenever we bring these together. So you can snip one of these away if you want. I don't really stress about it. I just leave it and let it go. All right, let's make our folds. So I'm going to fold and crease, fold and crease. All of these lines that we made, just like so. And making sure that you put your pencil marks to the inside, remember? So that's what I'm doing there. Now we are going to glue this together. Here's how I did it to make it easy. I just laid this down flat and see how that's going to overlap, and I can just wrap that around. That's how I'm going to glue it shut. So add some glue to that little inside flap. Leaving the edge pieces, I don't need to glue those. The little tiny flaps that we angle cut, leave those without glue. Glue this middle section. This is how I did it. Press that down till it stays. And then you can pull it and get your box. See how that did? So there's our simple open box. The rest, we just need to push these little tabs in. See how having two down there doesn't matter because I'm just tucking them in together. It's fine if you do. No big deal. I should have scored and folded these, but I didn't. So make sure you do before you get to this point or you'll be fighting with it like I am. So go ahead and make all your fold marks. Go ahead and get this one folding. All right, so now I'm going to glue this shut. I wish I had folded those before I got started, so make sure you do. You'll get a better, cleaner look, but I ain't going to stress about it. I'm just going to close this box up. All right, when you close it, this is where you can square it up, okay? Because without having that piece in the middle, there's a little bit of wiggle, so you need to just kind of square it all up like that as you close it down. You can go ahead and glue everything shut. Again, I'm decorating after the fact, but you could decorate it before you close it shut. So when I say square it up, this is where I take these corners and make sure everything is pretty square. Then I just flip it upside down and run my hand in there to seal that shut. So that is the inside of the card. It's super simple to do. And now we can make the rest of this dude. Let's make the outside cover. So for the outside cover, you're going to need a piece that's 5.5 by 9. Now remember, we're going to make this one landscape where this one is portrait because I want you to see you can do it both ways. So I cut my paper so that my pattern would work landscape instead of portrait. Okay, so that's what you need to remember when you're doing your scoring. All right, so I'm going to put this into my score board like this on the 9-inch side. We're going to score in two places, at 4 1/4 and at 4 3/4. Just like that. I'm going to run back over that one more time. And that is going to be the piece that wraps around and makes the actual card portion. Now, I am not going to glue this on yet. I have discovered that I do better if I go ahead and put some pieces on here first that I'm going to need in the future. And that is this little piece that'll go here. But I don't want to glue it down yet because I might stamp it. I'm not sure yet. And I want to go ahead and decorate the front. And I want to remember that I'm going landscape. Let me show you what my plan is. I think this is so cute. I'm going to use these cut-aparts. I don't know which one yet. This is from that paper pack called Birthday Girl. There's also a Birthday Boy one, but I think this one's super cute. And I don't know what I want to use on the front. I kind of like this, but I want to use the llama on the inside. So I think I'm going to do It's Your Big Day. Let's cut that one out. This little piece is a little bigger than I want. So I cut the cut-apart out, and I'm going to trim it down by 1/8 of an inch all the way around. It was already that way on the bottom. See how that's a little skinnier than the sides were? So I'm just going to make that match because I have a plan for it. All right, you guys know I like to let the paper do the work, right? This paper is really doing it because I have white and yellow border already built in. Now what I'm going to do is I want to pop this guy up on some dimensional, but then I'm going to use some stickers on the side. I think they'll be cute. So let me get some dimensional foam on here. And I love this paper pack because it makes everything easy. Anytime you can use the stickers and the paper and everything. I don't think I'm going to pull out any stamps on this one. I did on my first one, and I'll show you that when we go back to it. I think I'm going to do this one without any stamps. All right, peel the backers off. And again, I'm going to use stickers for the side embellishment too that I have planned. Okay, so I'm going to put this over here to one side, pretty close. Now, you might want to fold this first so you can see. I can see my score line, but if you struggle with that, go ahead and just fold it first so you can see where your score line is. So there's that little guy. Now, on the paper pack, there's these little sayings that say hip, hip, hooray, surprise, big wishes, birthday. I'm going to use these, and I'm going to come out from the side and just kind of let them be angled and tuck them under a little bit and just let them look like they're just, you know, a bunch of words coming out the side of this. I just want to make sure I can read them. That's all I'm really worried about. That's cute. It just kind of dresses up that one side of the card. So I think that is precious. Now what I'm going to do is this inside section. And I got to remember I'm working in the landscape this time. So it's going to go like this. And what do I want to put on here? There's this sticker in the paper pack that says wishing a very happy birthday to you. I'm going to use that in the middle to look like a sentiment. Just like that. And then I'm going to glue this guy down. So this will be where I can write my sentiment inside, is on this piece, just as if it were a regular card. And it just mounts right inside of here like so. Get it all lined up. Squish that down. So there's where I can write. And then I'm going to go ahead and make my folds now, since I've got everything in there. And we're going to have this, you know, bigger section here than our average card will have, because it's going to hold our little box. All right, so you can see I've got this section in there that's going to hold the box that we made, and all I have to do with the box is just glue it inside onto that section, and then our card will just open and close no problem. But first, I'm going to go ahead and put my cutesies inside of here. I really wanted to work with this llama because I think this llama is hilarious from the sticker pack, and I thought if I put it in here like this, isn't that funny? That's where I wanted that llama. I love the sticker packs because they have these borders around the sticker so it makes them pop. I think they're perfect. And there is this sentiment that I think looks funny with this llama that says, happy birthday from me to you. Oh, I don't know if I'm going to get to use it or not. I may just cut that cake off because I don't want it to be tucked underneath. Let me see how this looks going over the llama a little bit. It actually doesn't look bad, but not going to do it. That's not what I want. I'm going to change it. How about this one that says, I never met a cupcake I didn't like? That is hilarious. I'm going to put that right there. And then I'm going to decide what I'm going to put down here. So from the paper pack, there was this cupcake in one of the pieces of paper that I cut off. And I think it's funny because it's a big old cupcake next to this guy. And there's a candle in the sticker pack, but it's real big. So I'm going to cut it down so that it'll fit, but we'll do that in just a second. First, I want to put this guy down. I just cut this from the paper pack. It was on one of the little cut-aparts, and I thought it was cute to have a big old cupcake next to this llama saying he never met a cupcake he didn't like. What's not to like about this cupcake, right? It's huge. And then I'm going to trim this candle down a bit because he's too tall, somewhere about here, just eyeballing it. Okay, and I'm going to stick this little candle on, just like that. That's perfect. Look how cute that is. That's hilarious. Also, I'm going to put some stickers around these, around the border, kind of on and off of the border because they're just too cute. And they'll be precious kind of on and off, kind of looking like they're hanging over the edge a little bit. Kind of like how we did on our box card the other day where we did the box in the center. So I'm just going to stick these around in places just to look like a party. And here's some stars we can add. Let's put a star over here by our cupcake. And let's see what else. Here's some little swirly lines that can go up the side like so. Let's do a swirly line beside this cupcake just to look fancy like a party. I'm looking at what else is on here that we might want to use. I think this little party hat would be super cute up in one corner too. Like this. And then I'm going to use this little sentiment that says birthday wishes right down here. I think that'll be cute to kind of fill in this space. Now I'm just going to take my powder tool and put my finger on it and then come back here and put powder behind anywhere where those are sticking out. They're really not going to bother me. They're not going to get close to anything where they might be a problem because they're lifted up. But just in case, it can't hurt to be safe. All right, now we can glue this in to our card. Oh, I also want to tell you, if you want to decorate the back, you can. Or if you had a gift card, you could put a gift card here with like a little glue dot. Just stick it straight down. That would be cute too. Or create a little pocket or something there to hold your gift card. All right, glue on the part that's going to go into the seam of this guy, or into the, I want to say binding of it because that's basically what it is because it's like a book card. Just like so. And then I'm going to press this guy into place. And I'm just going to sit him for a second, and then I'm going to go ahead and fold the card and just make sure he's in the right spot. Now I'm doing the same thing I did before. I'm standing this up and pressing this into place. You just want to make sure you get good adhesion. So here it is, your card. Look how cute this is. And it's a box card, and there's plenty of room for you to write. And if you want to put a gift card again, you could go right there. But now you need to send it in something, so let's make an envelope for it. All right, super easy. Here we go. So back to our scoreboard. And this piece we're using now is 10 7/8 by 7 3/4. And yes, there's going to be 8s in here because anytime we're going slightly larger than our 1/4 inch numbers, we're having to add 8s. So just bear with me. All right, so 10 7/8, we have it in our scoreboard. Here's where we're going to score. We're going to score at 5/8, which is 1 mark past a half. Okay. We're going to then score it at 5 1/8. Which is 1 mark past 5. Then we're going to score at 5 3/4, and then 10 1/4. So it gets a little easier as we go. Okay, so there's that. Now we're going to turn it into our scoreboard with our 7 3/4 side here, and we're going to score it at 5/8 again. That's 1 mark past a half. Got offline there. All right, and then we're going to score it at 6 1/2. And then 7 1/8. That's just 1 mark past. Okay, so that is our score marks. I'm going to turn that over so you can see them again. We'll make sure you can see those before we move on. So you see how those look. You're going to end up with 2 rows of score marks at the top and only 1 at the bottom. And we're going to get rid of some of this top section. We don't need it. Okay, so the parts we're going to get rid of are this little square here. Okay, both of these all through here. And all of that. Okay, so we don't need any of that plus that little square, and we don't need that little square right there. So now we're going to cut all that away, and I'm going to start on this score line down, the second score line, trim that section away, just like so. And then I'm just going to go ahead and snip this away and come back and get the little square. It's easier for me that way. At this point, I should probably change to my little scissors, but I was using the long ones for that long piece we were cutting off. All right, so that we don't need, and then this. Now, I'm going to lay this down and let you see what it looks like as soon as I finish all of the snips. So don't worry, you'll get a view of it before I move on. All right, now what I want to do is I want to snip just like we did on the box before, all these little pieces, okay? So here's what we're going to do. We're going to start on this first one. We're going to snip it loose and then cut our angled pieces to take the bulk out. Then we're going to snip here and then cut our angle pieces, just like so. Oops, I missed one. No, I didn't. I cut that off. Okay, and then I'm going to come down here and do the same thing. Snip and angle, just like that. Snip and angle on all these little score marks. That piece out. One more time. So here you go. I want you to see it before we move on. So this is where your 2 score marks were. We cut that extra away. We've got our little pieces all here and there. Okay, we need to do one more thing, and this is optional, but I think it really helps. I'm going to take my corner rounder on the 1/2 inch side, and I'm going to stick this piece down in here. It's a little bit awkward because of that tab, but I want to corner round this piece that's going to tuck in. It'll just make it easier for that to open and close. So you can see what I did. I just corner round that little piece at the top. Now we can assemble this guy. So here's what we're going to do. Fold this down. I'm going to go ahead and crease them, because I want this to be nice and sharp. Pay attention and make sure you get everything nice and square. Okay. Let's do this guy here. Then let's come back here and do this little guy. That one might not be as square as I want it. Let me try that again. I'm going to go ahead and fold these two. I always forget, so I'm going to go ahead and do it now before I forget. This one and then this one. It just makes it open and close easier if you go ahead and score it before you get to that point. And then these guys. The little tabs I'm not as worried about. They're pretty easy to just push in. I just want to get these done. All right, again, the way I close it, I bring this side over and flatten it out. And then I fold this over to it to glue it. To glue it. There we go. All right. Add some glue on that little flap. Not worried about the little piece at the bottom. Just let that loose. You're just doing that section in the middle of the little angled tabs. Push that into place. Get that glued down really well. And then you can pop that open just like we did on our other part. Okay. Now these guys right here, we're going to tuck in on the sides. Then I'm going to tuck this down and tuck this down. But I actually want to make sure I have it going in the same direction as this flap. So I did that one backwards. I want to lift this one up. So I want to bring this one down first and then the other flap, just so they match. Put my glue on. This is where I'm going to square the box up again. I'm going to use the sides to help me do that. Okay. Now, here what I had to do was take my bone folder and stick it down inside and rub that across to get that glue good and burnished. Now your box is made for your card, and you'll be able to address it. Now, something you might want to do, just think about this. You might want to go ahead and address it ahead of time, or you might want to use just an extra piece that you glue on here so you can write on it and then glue it down. Just think about that. It might be something you want to do. All right, this guy then fits right inside of here. And I made it in such a way that you could have some dimension, because remember I popped that up. So you have a little space. It slides in super easy. So then you just work your lid in there, that little piece, just like so. I've got some dimension on my card, so it's wanting to fight me a little bit, but I'll get it in there. There we go. All right, so close that in, just like so, and your box is all done. You'll seal this before you mail it. You can use a piece of tape or use some glue, and then you'll put your address and everything on here. Now, it will cost more to mail, obviously, because it's a box, so I would go to the post office and let them weigh this, and I would buy my postage from them for something like this. But if you're giving this at a party or something, how cute is this? You can just write the name on it and go, and then they can open it up and pull out their box card, which I think I put in upside down. I did. So there you go. So that's it, guys. I hope you enjoy it. I tried to do this for you so that you would be able to recreate it at home And you know, if you recreate it, I want to see it, right? So you can head to our Facebook group called Maymay Made It, and so did I. And anytime I've inspired you to create something, I want to see your creation or your version of it. So head over there and share with us some photos of what you're making. Or you can head to our customer gallery. And in our customer gallery, there is so much inspiration for you guys. And you can also post your photos there. So head over to our website, which is maymaymadeit.com. Look on the menu bar for the Other tab and click on that, and you'll see where it says Gallery. That's where you can share your photos of what you're making. Just look how cute that is. Adorbs. Let me bring the other one back over. So this is the landscape, and these were my I told you guys before, whenever I make prototypes, I use paper that's not something I normally would use. So this color was one that I rarely use. So to make a prototype, I did that. And I used some of the paper that wasn't necessarily my favorite, but I really like how it turned out at the end. So this one is going up and down. You see I stamped on the inside here. Isn't that cute? And then this one is sideways. There you go, guys. Hey, Trish, thanks so much for sending me this to inspire me. That was awesome. You also took me out of my comfort zone. This one took a while to work on, but I enjoyed it. Hey, thanks so much for watching today, and I will see you again next time. Have a good one. Bye-bye.